news update. There is no news, none whatsoever. Sources that have been talking to me have gone completely radio silent. Um, Everything was supposed to have been done already. It did not occur last night when it was theorized to occur. Everybody else is telling you, well, we're right on top of this. Everything's done. Everything may be done, but nothing has happened that I can track in a tangible way. I do have a few people that have had bond exchanges and currency exchanges. One contact got paid for bonds and currency. Another contact got paid for the bonds, but the currency is just sitting in his bank account. It's not spendable yet. His bond money is spendable. These are, I believe, tier 3 people, and I've told you this a couple times before. I did get the rates on dinar and dong. They only exchanged dinar and dong. The reason for that is, as I've told you in previous shows, dinar and the dong are the only two currencies worldwide, besides the US dollar and all the standard ones, the only two of the currencies in the baskets that are 100% SWIFT, Basel III, and Basel IV compliant right now. The ZIM may also be included in that, but it is not a currency. It is a bearer bond. So that's kind of where we're at. I do not know why we haven't had an update. I do believe people are excited for this weekend, and they're still excited for today. However, there is seemingly a lot of stagnation. The information flow from my people I've been talking to has completely stopped. So, Jen, I know you've had some Jentel confirms and some things have come up. Do you have any Jentel updates?
I do have new Jentel from yesterday.
There you go. Let's hit it.
All right. New Jentel for 3/25/25 about Tier 3 progress. Upper levels have paperwork and can see balances. The way he said that was, I assume there are levels to Tier 3. Not aware of that. Liquidity will come one by one per client, I believe, or per level. There's mountains of transactions and paperwork to process, and that is underway. The street rate in Iraq is published in private documents, screens, or places that allow for other tiers to be processed. The public announcement of the street rate in Iraq may be to trigger Tier 5. We may not need it for our tier to go. The speed at which the treasuries of the U.S. and the other countries can process the transactions will determine how quickly 4B notifications appear. Estimate as of yesterday, and from Jesus's Jentel on, 23rd? Yeah. Anytime between now and the weekend. Okay? Imminent. Back in the Jentel, we got, let's see, that they had signed off. The Jentel before that last week, I think, I'm looking where it is that I said talked about budget tables. Budget tables. Anyway, it's in the Jentel somewhere. We're talking about budget tables, talking about some kind of, over here, some kind of private publication. And then we've got Jentel. If you go to philosophy on Telegram, I had people send me this morning. In Iraq, the Minister of Planning announces the completion of preparation of the 2025 budget tables and sending them to Council of Ministers. This is already done. That's already done. They're just leaking it out to the public. So what I'm getting here is that there may be a possibility that they don't need a public rate to send out notifications for 4B. They may put out the public rate right when they're ready for Tier 5 to kick off, because when Tier 5 kicks off, all these other public rates are going to come out in other countries. Sorry about the lighting. And that may trigger the United States to make an announcement to go to gold, if that affects the dollar and everything else, with everybody else's currency rates higher than ours. Okay? So that is a possibility. But right now, we've had a lot of forward movement. They are finishing up the other tiers, and we're just waiting for our turn. We're going to wait and see if Iraq does actually post a public rate or not, but we may not need it. I do believe that everything that we need is published somewhere for those who need to see it. And that's Jentel for today.
Okay, interesting. Interesting stuff because again, it's exactly what I got. What you got was exactly the same thing, which is that people can see their money and they can't necessarily get to it. In some cases, it is liquid, it is fluid. They have been able to get it, but then that fits in with your, one by one, people's funds are going to be released kind of thing. So we have this. We have sort of a two sides of information coming together. It's just that everything on the news side of things is stalled. Now, I agree with you. It makes sense that it's always kind of bothered me that what some of my contacts are talking about is a public rate on the dinar, because a public rate triggers everybody. And I would have thought they would have wanted a week or two with us kind of under the radar, going in for our exchanges where we get notifications, but tier 5 isn't notified yet. So that there's a new rate on the dinar. I would have thought they would have preferred that. But now it's kind of, up in the air. So I guess they're still trying to decide, are they going to go with a public rate and let everybody know that the rate has changed in Iraq, or are they going to do a private thing? Kind of up in the air, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, we're next.
Yeah. So you on Monday, we were pretty sure we were going to hear this week about our appointments, I believe is the way it was described. So are we still tracking in that direction? Thursday, Friday, we think we're going to hear soon in the next day or two?
Listen, Jesus took me by the shoulders in meditation and said, congratulations, you've made it. Anytime between now and the weekend, you will receive notifications to exchange. I'm going with that.
Jay, I was told that Iraq budget tables have been approved, now being sent to the Council of Ministries. Well, Jay Branch, that is the perfect. Let me put that back up for a minute so folks that don't, need a moment to read it, because I do tend to just boom and move on. So let's let that one marinate for just a second, and then let's go to news. Let's just go ahead and jump right in, folks. And there is the supporting article that goes with. The Minister of Planning announces the completion of the preparation of budget tables and sends them to the Council of Ministers. Yeah, we're finally getting some movement on that front right there, Jay Branch. So you could not have had a better timing on that comment. You have the receipts here. The Minister of Planning, Mohammed Tamim, announced today, Wednesday, the completion of the preparation of the 2025 budget tables and sending them to the Council of Ministers. The budget tables do not include the inclusion of any new projects, but they do include financing of ongoing projects, Tamim said in the press statement. For his part, Atwan Al-Atwani, chairman of the Parliamentary Finance Committee, said, we're determined to activate the general authority for monitoring the allocation of federal imports. In other words, we had some solid movement today on those budget tables. Perhaps we'll finally get them wrapped up within the week, giving us a bit of hope for the weekend. Robert Jura. Ooh, yeah, I've heard really good things about the Jura machines. When I grow up, I'm going to have a cool coffee machine. I want one of the cool nitro cold ones, too. All right, keep going. From the bond side, pretty quiet today. From the group side, some interesting. I've got a couple of more reports. These are reports. These are not my people. They're reports from other people's contacts. They're saying that a number of groups have their funds and are preparing for distribution. Their members of those groups do not have those funds yet. But I have gotten it started sometime. We heard rumors for days or two, but it started with what I consider some reputable contacts. Started with that one late yesterday. So it gives me hope that we may actually see those distributions. And once that goes, it's all ready to roll. Stephen, I've not heard any confirmation that tariffs are going to be paid in gold. Tell a Patriot, that's exactly where I was going. Reports, while they are very hopeful and they sound great, they are not necessarily confirmations. That's exactly what I was getting at. Monitor your expectation on that one. It sounds great, but we're looking for some. I've got some. Okay, I'm not going to say which group and get anybody in trouble, myself included, but I've got some well-connected that like personal folks that I've worked with, and I'm waiting for them to give me confirmations before I scream from the top of the hill.
Prime Minister Mohammed Al-Sudani presided over the signing ceremony of a significant agreement between the Iraqi Ministry of Oil and British energy company BP. The contract pertains to the development and production of 4 strategic oil fields in Kirkuk. The Kirkuk field, Baba and Havana domes, Bay Hassan, Jambur, and Kubez. The ceremony was attended by the Minister of Oil and BP Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Murray Archinclos. Forwarded from Melania Stasia Romanov. And this was forwarded from Zach. They wouldn't sign a contract if they didn't have a new rate. They'd sign a memorandum of understanding instead. This tells us they indeed have a new rate for that contract, even though it isn't public. BP receives green light from Iraq government on Kirkuk project. This follows an initial agreement signed last month by Sharia Nasrallah, March 27, 2025. BP has received final government approval for the redevelopment of Iraq's giant Kirkuk oil fields, with an initial plan to produce 3 billion barrels of oil equivalent, BP said on Wednesday. This follows an initial agreement signed last month. Reporting by Sharia Nasrallah, editing by Tomasz Janowski. Light 'em up, folks. I think we just passed the threshold. Should know more within 24 hours. And this was TNT Ray Ren 98. Forwarded from FightBackEarthOfficial, Amiel Alston. Trump's executive orders yesterday mandated the Treasury to be a clearinghouse and to update all digital infrastructure. XRP is the infrastructure for the QFS. The clearinghouse and updates are also the legal gazetting for our money to fully transform from fiat into digital and all institutions to use and accept it. Can you see all his crypto Bitcoin executive orders lining up and coming into play now? This is our custodial accounts also. The ability to exchange our notes from fiat to gold digital tokens. Dan Bongino. I don't know if this is Truth Social or X. Today is March 26, and I didn't swear in to waste your time or money. If you're committing crimes against children, you should probably expect a knock on your door soon. And it's not for a delivery. It's a bad day to be a bad guy. Forwarded from Truth Warriors, Chris. This is an interesting perspective. By Echo on X, posted 8:26 p.m. March 24th, 2025. The collapse everyone keeps talking about isn't coming. Yeah, the US interest payments just crossed $1 trillion a year, and the national debt looks insane on paper. But if this system was truly going to crash, it would have happened already. Remember August. The Fed made its first rate cut. That was the perfect moment to let the system fall, but it didn't. Why? Because they already tapped into new liquidity. What I'm seeing now is a quiet transition. The US is tapping into decentralized finance, DeFi, and beginning to back the dollar with real-world assets like gold, silver, real estate, and tokenized commodities. This isn't about endless printing. It's about expanding liquidity with value. We may be watching the early stages of a new treasury-backed digital dollar powered by real assets and blockchain rails. People keep saying, just wait, 6 months and it'll crash. But I see the opposite. Not a collapse, but a system upgrade. They're not destroying the dollar, they're evolving it. So while fear sells, truth empowers. Pay attention, stay ahead, and know what you hold. Majid posted on X. This was posted 12 hours ago, so it would be the 27th of March. Alert, alert, alert. Iraq government went to vacation for 10 days starting today as the first day of their vacation. 2025 budget is in the Council of Ministers. They are the ones who's going to adjust the budget table before sending it to the Parliament to approve it with the new numbers based on the new rate. Now it is in the hand of USA to flip the switch on crypto in order for Iraq to release the digital dinar with the new rate. Iraq only needs the Parliament to approve the budget tables after the rate has already been changed internationally. So when they vote on the budget tables, they can understand why the numbers have been reduced and changed based on the new rate. Forwarded from Wolverine. The world will never be the same. Monday, 31st March 2025, the first medbeds are introduced to the public, bringing hope and healing to millions. These advanced technologies will begin their initial rollout, prioritizing those in critical need and children suffering from long-term illnesses. Wednesday, 2nd of April 2025. Global healing centers equipped with medbeds begin operations in strategic locations worldwide. Training programs will be launched to educate specialists in the use of these life-changing technology. Friday, 4th April, public demonstrations of medbed capabilities will be broadcast globally, showcasing their potential to restore health, reverse aging, and eradicate disease. A new standard of well-being will be established, redefining humanity's relationship with healthcare. Monday, 7 April 25, an international medbed access program is announced, ensuring equitable distribution and usage. Leaders affirm that every individual, regardless of status or location, will have the right to healing and restoration. The age of medbeds heralds not just physical healing, but a symbolic step toward a future where advanced technology serves the greater good. The world stands united in embracing this transformation. By Mr. Paul. Signs of high vibration. You feel grateful for what you have in life. You are self-aware. You have a strong sense of empathy. You can better control your emotions. You are motivated to reaching your goals. You take care of yourself and wish to grow. You experience a lot of synchronicity. You feel connected to something greater than yourself. Your overall well-being is good and you feel healthy. You feel peaceful and stay away from drama. You feel confident and trust your instincts. You attract positive people. You feel happy. Your life feels meaningful. You smile and laugh more and have a great sense of humor towards life. You listen to what your body needs.